Okay, so this is the algebraic solutions of system of linear equations. So here we're actually gonna solve the system of equation. What we did so far was graphing it and then find the solution. So these are the two methods I'm gonna go over. One of them is substitution and another one is additional method. So when you do substitutional method, these are the steps you're gonna take. First, you're gonna solve one of the equations for x or y. Pick which one you want, doesn't matter. Then after you solve it for x or y, you're gonna substitute, you're gonna plug it in into the other equation. And then you're gonna solve the equation because one of the variables is gonna cancel out. And you're gonna solve the equation, and then you're gonna go back and in first step and find the other variable. So you have to find, remember, you have to find two numbers, one for x and one for y. And I'm gonna show how that works. The second method is called additional method, where you have both, you're gonna work with both of the equations. They have to be in standard form, which means x and y in the same side. Then you're gonna multiply one or both of those equations by number, and you're gonna make in front of x's or in front of y the same numbers with opposite signs. So when you add them, you're gonna add the two equations, and in that way, you're gonna eliminate x or y. And then after you eliminate, you're gonna solve, and then you're gonna go back substituting one of the equations and find out the variable. Again, you're gonna have one number for x, one number for y, okay? So here we have the steps if you wanna look at like step-by-step process, and I'm gonna show you exactly how that works in one of the next system of equations. So I'm gonna pick, let's start with number 13. And number 13, we have, so this is how I pick which method I'm gonna use. So if I have my system already with x and y in the same side, if I have them in standard form, so this is standard form, right? Both of the equations are in standard form. It's easier to use additional method. Okay? If you can pick additional method. Okay? So now, how the additional method works. So we're gonna focus on x or y, doesn't matter, pick one. So let's say I wanna focus in the x, I wanna eliminate the x. So looking at my numbers in front of x, I have 4 and 8. I'm gonna multiply one or both of those equations by something to make them the same number. So if one of the number is divisible by the other one, you get the bigger one. So here 8 is divisible by 4. So if I multiply 4 by 2, I'm gonna get 8, right? That's what you wanna get. You wanna get the same numbers in front of x. So if I multiply 2 by 4, it's gonna give me 8. Now they have to be the same numbers, but with opposite sign. So I'm gonna multiply actually by -2, because when I multiply -2 times 4, it's gonna be -8. And when I add it with a +8, because that's the method, additional method, you're gonna add the two equations. So -8 plus 8 is gonna be 0. In that way, x is gonna cancel out. So that's the method. So first, that's your goal. You wanna cancel everything in front of x, or you can do y, doesn't matter which one.
So
yes.
If you got where did you get the -2 from though? Because I mean, you can just add it without putting anything else in the bottom equation.
If you just add them, you're gonna have equation with x and y. You don't want that. You wanna have only x or only y left. You wanna eliminate, you wanna cancel one of those.
No, I understand that, but so you're literally just taking a 2 from just because it matches the bottom x, and that's,
yes,
I mean,
that's correct. That's correct.
The
So you wanna match the bottom x or the top x. They have to be the same.
I had a question. The -2, do you have to apply to that 8 as well, or
no?
just...
Yes, thank you for asking. Now, this -2 is gonna multiply only the first equation, both sides of the first equation. Okay? So I'm multiplying everything by -2. So I have -2 times 4x is going to be -8x. -2 times -2y is going to be -4y equals, I'm multiplying both sides. So -2 times -20 is +40. So you multiply the whole first equation by -2. Then the second equation, you're just going to copy that. You don't do anything with the second one. Sometimes you multiply both, sometimes you multiply one of those. Okay, but your goal is to have to match the same x's or the same y. In this case, see, when I add them, what's happened? 8x minus 8x is 0. And what is left? 6y minus 4y is 2y equals. What you have in the other side? You have 40 minus 28, which is 12, right? See, this is your goal. You want to eliminate, you want to cancel x, so that way you have equation only with y, and you can solve it, right? You can solve, you get y by itself, you're going to divide by 2. So you're going to get y equals 6. That's why you cancel it, because you want to solve it. You want to get y by itself. You want to get what is the number for y, okay?
You can
I
do
mean,
that.
I understand why you have it, but that makes no sense on how you get a -2 from nowhere in the equation. I mean, so it like, are you just, because if you were to put those in like to equal to multiply each other, I mean, they would come down to 2. So is that what you're doing, or is like, because I don't understand how you get a -2 from nowhere. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, you pick a number. You can multiply any equation by any number. I can multiply by 3. I can multiply by 5. But if I multiply by something else, I'm still going to have x and I'm still going to have y. You don't want that. You want to eliminate x or y.
So it doesn't matter as long as either
Yes.
X or
Yes,
Y.
that's right. So it doesn't matter what you multiply. You want to cancel x.
No, I understand that, but if you're doing it to the top equation, how are you not doing it to the bottom equation? And
Because it's already 8.
But then where do you get the negative? Like, okay.
So basically, what you're trying is to match the
Yes.
either x and y. You're not
Yes.
exactly like solving the equation. You're trying to match it, and that's why you
Yes.
multiply both x and y. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it doesn't make like sense at first, but you're not solving anything. You're just trying to match, and while you proceed to, in this case, pass through x and make it a 0 and change everything, that's the process when you're solving it. But the first part is not solving anything, it's just
Yes.
matching. Yeah, it doesn't make any like maybe sense at first, but when you start thinking
But
about it,
when you
yeah, it does.
eliminate it, yes. When you eliminate the x, you see that's why you're doing it, because you don't want x in that equation. You have x and y, you have 2 variables.
So
But when you cancel one, you have only y, and you can find what is y.
so if we were trying to figure out, or if we were trying to cancel out Y, 2Y would be 2 multiplied by -3, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes. That's it. Okay. So now we're not done yet though. After you find your y, so the step is cancel one of them, x or y, pick which one you want to cancel. Cancel it. Doesn't matter which one you cancel. So you get y by itself, and now after you get y by itself, you're going to take this 6 and you're going to replace it in one of the equations. Doesn't matter. So pick again, whatever you want to pick. Let's say the first one or the second one.
The first one.
Okay. The first one. So let's pick the first one. So I'm replacing y with 6. So it's going to be 4x plus 2 times, you plug it in 6, equals -20. See, when you have y is a number, plug it in, you're going to solve, you're going to find x now. So how you solve it? You have 4x plus 2 times 6 is 12, equals negative 20. It's like linear equation. You're going to move the 12 over. And you're going to get 4x equals negative 32. And then divide by 4 to get x by itself. So what is x equals? Negative 8, right? So this is my solution. X is negative 8, y is 6. Now, when you write your answer, be careful. You have to write it in that specific order. The first number is always x, which is negative 8. And the second number is always y. So my final answer is going to be negative 8, comma, 6. Always the first number is x, the second number is y, because that's how the coordinates of the point are. Okay? Everybody understand the additional method?
Yes.
Yes?
No, it just doesn't make any sense on how you, I mean, I understand you're matching, but in math, you can't just bring a number out of nowhere. So that's what doesn't make sense to me. But I understand.
Okay. So you can multiply by any number, whatever you want to multiply the whole equation. Okay? So we're going to do it again, and you're going to see why you're doing it. I mean, you're going to understand what you're multiplying by. Okay, so let's go ahead and do number 15, because 14 is good. See, 14, you already have y equals by itself. So 14, I'm going to show the second method, which is the substitutional method. And you're using substitutional when you have y by itself or x by itself in the equation. This is easier that way. So when you have x equals or y equals by itself, like this one, y equals, it's easier to do substitutional method. Okay? So substitutional method, I'm going to show you the method right now, where you're going to substitute. And this is how you do it. We already have y equals 2x plus 1, right? So what you're doing now, you're going to get this y equals something, and you're going to substitute in the second equation. So I'm going to replace y with 2x plus 1. And when I do that, I'm going to get x plus, now in the place of y, I'm going to put what? 2x plus 1. Always put parentheses, because if there is a number in front, you're going to distribute that. So just try to have a habit. When you plug something, put it in parentheses. And then from here, we're going to take off the parentheses. There is invisible one, so nothing is going to change. So you're going to get x plus 2x plus 1 equals negative 2. And now looking at this, we have equation only with x. So that's the idea behind all these two methods. You want to eliminate one of those variables because the given equation have x and y. So what you want to do, you want to eliminate one of those and get only x so you can solve it, or only y so you can solve it. Make sense? And then I can solve this. I'm going to add 1x plus 2x is 3x plus 1 equals negative 3. And then I'm going to, negative 2. And when I subtract, I'm going to step ahead. Sorry. Subtract 1, you're going to get negative 3 now. So I have 3x equals negative 3, and then divide by 3. So we're going to get x equals negative 1. So this is the number for x. X is negative 1. Now what you're doing next from here, you're going to take this negative 1 for x, and you're going to plug it into the substitution. What you substitute? Y equals, you're going to plug it in here. So you're going to get y equals 2 times, I'm going to put my x there, plus 1. And what was x? Negative 1. And then you're going to simplify. So how you simplify? 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, plus 1 is also negative 1. So you get y equals negative 1. So these are my two numbers for x and y. Now, what you need to remember when you write your answer, write it as a pair, like a coordinates. the first number is always x, and the second number is always y. In this case, they're the same, but remember that always the first number is x, the second is y. So my final answer is -1, -1. Okay? So let me ask you, which method you like better? Substitution or additional?
The substitution.
Substitution.
Okay? So if you like substitution, you can do that all the time. But if the equation like number 15 is given like this, you have to solve it for x or solve it for y and then do the substitution. Okay?
I had a question.
Yes.
So, like you said, when we solve for x, you have to only put that x in the substituted equation. You can't put it in the other one.
You can put it in the other one, doesn't matter, but the substitution is easier because it's already solved.
So in this case right here, the x minus 1, we could have put it in that second equation, x plus y equals.
Yes,
okay.
You can put it there, but you have to solve. Yes, you can do it both ways. Okay, so everybody likes substitution or additional?
I didn't even see substitution. I had a electronic error, but
okay, I see. Okay, so substitution, what you're doing, you pretty much plug it in. What you solve x or y by itself, plug it in into the other equation, and then solve it, and then plug back the number to find the other one. Okay, so now we're gonna do like one more or two more, and then you're gonna take a break. So you guys want to do one more time addition, one more substitution. That's what you have here. So let's do that. So I'm going to do number 15 with additional method again. So I'm going to look at my x and y. Which one you want to eliminate, x or y? Pick one, x or y, number 15.
X.
I'm thinking y.
Okay, let's do y. That's a good choice because we already have positive and negative. So the first number is -3, the second number is 6. So what I need, which equation I'm going to multiply? The first or the second? To match the numbers.
The first one by 2.
Good job. You're going to multiply by 2. Because 2 times -3 is -6, which match the bottom one. That's right. So I'm going to multiply everything, the first equation by 2. So I'm going to have 2 times 9 is 18x minus 2 times 3 is 6y equals 24 times 2 is 48. And then I'm going to copy the second equation, which is 3x plus 6y equals 15. And when I add them, see, y is going to cancel. It's going to be 0. So when I add those two, I'm going to get 21x equals, which is 48, is going to be 60. 63, yeah, and then you're going to divide by 21. Okay, so that's how you do it. So this cancels, so you're going to get x equals 3. Okay, now after you get x equals 3, you can plug it in one of the equations, doesn't matter which one you want to plug it in. The top one, okay. So we're going to replace, now make sure you plug it in into the place of x. So we're going to have 9 times x is 3 minus 3y equals 24. Now 3 times 9 is 27 minus 3y equals 24. I'm going to subtract 27. And you're going to get negative 3y equals negative 3. Divide by negative 3. So it's going to be y equals positive 1. And then the final answer is going to be x comma y. So final answer is 3 and negative 1. Okay? Everybody good?
It's 3 and positive 1, right?
Oh,
Not negative
yes,
1.
yes, thank you. I don't know why I get
Okay.
negative 1. Yes, thank you. It's 1. Yes, positive 1. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start with number 16, one more substitution. So here what you have, we have y equals something. So all these 3x minus 17 is going to replace the y. Okay? So when you do that, you're going to get, I'm going to copy the second equation, negative 3x minus 13 equals 5 times, I'm going to plug the x there, I mean the y. The y is going to be 3x minus 17. And then you're going to, you have equation only with x's. So you're going to distribute here and you're going to solve for x. So we get negative 3x minus 13 equals 15x minus 85, right? And then you're gonna, you can add 3x in both sides. And then you can add 85 also. I'm gonna do both of those together. Everybody okay with that? So we have 85 minus 13 is 72. 18x. And then you're going to divide by 18 is going to be 4. So we get x equals 4. So that's my x. And then you're going to plug it back into the substitution. So it's going to be y equals 3 times 4 minus 6, 17. So it's 12 minus 17 is negative 5. So y equals negative 5. And then you write the solution as a pair, x comma y. So it's going to be 4 and negative 5 is my final answer. Okay, any questions?
So for the top one, if you were to solve for x instead of y, if you were to switch it on the equations, would you still get the same answer?
Yeah, you can solve for x, you can solve for y, doesn't matter. But make sure you plug it into the other equation. That's it. Doesn't matter, but it's already solved. Why you want to solve it again? It's already y equals
Well, I
y.
was talking about number 15.
Yeah.
Number
So,
15.
yeah, you can do it if you want to, yes. Okay, so that's the solving by substitution and additional method.